Welcome to Dr. English's Book Lovers Book Club. I'm Dr. English and I teach English. This week I'm reviewing Legend by Marie Lu. And I have to say, this was a book I couldn't put down. I love a good dystopian novel, and this one is really quite good. I was substitute teaching in a middle school, and one of the middle school boys, his name was Leo, and he commented that he loved this book. So I was really pleased to know that other middle school kids are reading this book. So it starts out with you have it kind of reminded me in some ways the Six of Crows, because Day is the person that reminds me a good deal of the main character in that, who's very intelligent and is very just really able to navigate a dystopian world where he can just slip in and out of situations with such skill. And so this is two narrators. There's Day and there's June, and they're on the opposite sides. Day is not a part of the resistance. He's not a part of the Patriots. He is always worked by himself with a young girl named Tess that he finds on the streets. And it takes place in Los Angeles, and there's a clear divide between those who live very wealthy in a dystopian kind of the Republic of America, and then they're at odds with the colonies. And I'm not really I can't really tell you for sure like where the colonies are at, but there's definitely like a Hunger Games feel to this. So in the kind of what I call the American kind of dystopian novel. Day's character is like, he is someone who can slip in and out of places and still he has all this money and these Republican notes that he's able to at least sustain himself and his family. It's all about his family. He's trying to protect his mom and his brother, two brothers, but his mother thinks he's dead, because he's reported as dead at 10 years old, but he's still alive. And so he's like the number one criminal against the Republic of America. And so because of his ability to steal and take from the rich and give to the poor, he's kind of a modern day Robin Hood, or a dystopian Robin Hood. And he says he never kills anybody, which he doesn't. He is not a killer. He takes, things to make sure he can take care of his family. And his older brother, John, knows he's actually alive, but his mother and his little brother, Eden, don't know that he's alive. But everything that he does is to protect them and to keep them from harm and to make sure they get food enough to eat. And in the Republic of America, especially in the poor districts, the Lake District where he is at with Tess, who he kind of rescued from, the trash bin, basically, there's a plague going around. And so they are constantly on the guard for the plague, and they have to take a trial test, and then if they if they pass, they usually go to some particular job. In that regard, it's kind of almost like Brave New World, Aldous Huxley, where they're test tube babies, but they all are genetically engineered to be a particular kind of gamma betas or whatever in society. Well, in this regard, everyone's born the same, but then they have this trial, and they have to pass this trial to be placed to where they're going to be placed. And all of his life, Day has been told that he knows that he failed the test, so he got basically sent away. And I'm not going to say any more because he does something extraordinary when he gets sent away that most people don't do. And so, but I won't give that away. You'll have to read the book to find out what it was that he did. Now, June, on the other hand, June is from the Republic, and she had a perfect score on her trial test, but she doesn't really follow the rules. She's in a school, and she's, incredibly brilliant. She's a genius, but she is not someone who really follows the rule and is always getting in trouble. And she has an older brother, Matthias, who is, also in the Republic, and he's like an intelligence officer, or he's like a police officer. And June is being groomed to be like, like the top spy kind of person. And like Day, they're both like 15 years old. Like they, she skipped many grades of school. But she's from the other side of town. She's, was born and raised into this kind of elite society, whereas Day was not. Although his father did work at a hospital and or a lab. So I don't think that he's like, completely, they're poor, but they did not lack intelligence, I guess is what I mean to say. So June is on the other side of that, and their paths cross. And that's about all I'm going to say about that, because I don't really want to give away what how they meet and under what circumstances. I just know that everything that happens is in a way that I just think, oh, I can't believe that happened. But then I stop and think about, this is a totalitarian kind of government, and the things that happen are what probably have actually happened all around the world over thousands of years. The brutality of them is remarkable, and I feel like Marie Lu really does tell it like it is in that regard, because I just think, oh, that couldn't have happened. But then I think, no, in reality it probably could have. So I'm going to read a piece from Day's narration, and it's about a skiz fight where Cade is a girl that he knows, and she's got the this tattoo, and she's a fighter, and he sees a new person come in, and hint, you can kind of guess who this person is that I've been talking about, to come in and fight Cade in this street fight. All right. She's not much taller than Tess, and definitely lighter than Cade. For a second, it seems like the crowd's attention has made her uncomfortable, and I'm ready to dismiss her as a real contender until I study her again. No, this girl is nothing like the last one. She's hesitating, not because she's afraid to fight or because she fears losing, but because she's thinking, calculating. She has dark hair tied back in a high ponytail and a lean, athletic build. She stands deliberately, with a hand resting on her hip, as if nothing in the world can catch her off guard. I find myself pausing to admire her face. For a brief moment, I'm lost to my surroundings. This girl shakes her head at Cade. This surprises me too. I've never seen anyone refuse to fight. Everyone knows the rules. If you're chosen, you fight. This girl doesn't seem to fear the crowd's wrath. Cade laughs at her and says something I can't quite make out. Tess hears it, though, and casts me a quick, concerned glance. This time the girl nods. The crowd lets out another cheer, and Cade smiles. I lean a little bit from behind the chimney. Something about this girl. I don't know what it is, but her eyes burn in the light, and although it's hot and might be my imagination, I think I see a small smile on the girl's face. Tess shoots a questioning look at me. I hesitate for a split second, then hold up one finger again. I'm grateful to this mystery girl for helping Tess out. But with my money on the line, I decide to play it safe. Tess nods and casts our bet in favor of Cade. But the instant the new girl steps into the circle and I see her stance, I know I've made a big mistake. Cade strikes like a bull, a battering ram. This girl strikes like a viper. So that is a street fight, excuse me, called a skiz in the book Legend. And I do really recommend. This is the book you could teach. I was in a substitute teaching in a middle school here, and a young man named Leo said, oh, I've read that book, Legend, and he said that it's a series, so I did not know that. So I'm going to have to check into this and see what happens next after this with Day and June. I'm really interested in knowing what's the next step in this story of this series. So I highly recommend Legend by Marie Lu. And like I said, I would recommend this to teach this in school. I think you could do it in middle school. You could teach it in high school. I definitely think you should do it as a book club book, a novel panel, or a literature circle. Kids could do it as a book talk. This is a book that you should definitely have on your shelf, on your teacher's library shelf, for kids to check out. I think it's a great book, and I am excited to find out more about Marie Lu as a writer, and we'll see what the next book is in this series. And once again, I highly recommend it. It's a quick read and it's a fun read. It really grabs your attention, and you really want to know what happens to Day in June. So I'm a big fan of Marie Lou's legend. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye.